Live deep in the heart of West Texas, it's the James Hendricks Show. Here today is your guest host, Brent Clark. Today we're going to be talking about new blood. We got a couple stories for you. First story is House Speaker Nancy Pelosi went there with some of the U.S. congressional delegation, I believe, down to Ukraine to pledge support for Ukraine. It splashed all over the news, from Wall Street Journal to Breitbart. I don't know. With how things have been going with the Biden administration, kind of having, shall I say, tepid support for what's going on in Ukraine, that tells you something. Now, he says he's going to take away the Russian oligarchy. I gotta say this. Good luck for him. Good luck for him. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Now, Asa Hutchinson says no matter what Trump decides, it doesn't matter. He's running because he feels like they need new blood. Really? Alright. Doesn't matter which political party. I'm going to call it with a pot calling the kettle black. Alright? I've looked at him. He's served as a bureaucrat in George W.'s administration. Ron DeSantis, the only office he served in, besides governor of Florida, is a member of the U.S. House. So I think Ron DeSantis is the better choice if we're to call for new blood. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not opposed to new blood. We probably could use it right now. And, I mean, Hutchinson would be a good VP to influence the Senate, but I don't know about, if we're going to get somebody, we're going to need somebody that's not a seasoned politician. Okay? Ron DeSantis is closest to Gen X generation. It's time that Gen X conservatives have their share. Particularly Gen X conservative federalists. You know? Now, there's another thing I want to talk about before we just end this. A lot of conservatives are up in arms about this student loan forgiveness. Well, in some ways, maybe I can understand. Student loans are a problem. If you have them, you should be able to pay for them if there are circumstances where you can't. So, I'm just going to say this. You're not going to win over voters by tearing down the student loan thing. Alright? That's something that you need to be speaking about in colleges and universities, and a preventative deal. Not to just try to fix it now that it's all blown over. You gotta think about that. On both sides of the aisle, they want to wait and fix the situation when it's all boiled over and in a pressure cooker, and sit there and kick the can monetarily and blame other sides. Now, as conservative federalists, I gotta say this. Look, that's gotta stop. As for Nancy Pelosi supporting Ukraine, if she's doing it wholeheartedly, and it can be proven that way empirically, then yeah, hats off to her. But if not, she's a hypocrite. There's hypocrisy in both parties. There's hypocrisy in both parties, and so I'm going to pick a bone with both of them right now. Asa Hutchinson saying he wants to run, saying he's new blood. I'll be honest with you, I think Ron DeSantis would be better. He's Gen X. We've been giving these baby boomers a chance. It's time for Gen X cats like me and others to step forward and say, hey, these are our brand of conservatism. Okay, we've been through a lot in, some of us in our 50 plus years. We've been through the excesses and fun times of the 80s. We've been through the craziness of the grunge movement and nirvana of the 90s. We've been through some of the dark times of 9/11, the war in Iraq in the 2000s, in the 2010s decade. We went through quite a bit of economic and life changes. And in this past decade, the past 2 years, we've been through it all for the most part. I really do think so. So, I'm going to say this. We can't afford to fart around. Alright? Now, some may say, well, you conservatives are too conservative. Maybe in some principles. These Beltway journalists on both sides of the aisle and all that have their own opinion. But how about living down in the trenches where some of the real people live? Now, granted, my family was well enough off. No. Texas was our breeding ground. They want to keep the gas prices and energy prices up and keep sucking up to Russia and stuff like that. Why don't some of these people come down to Texas to see how people really live? And not just those influenced by the oil field. See, that's the thing. Both parties seem to have a generalist, myopic view on how to fix America. As far as the national scale. And that's why, if you're looking for the political agenda of the James Hendrick Empowerment Network, it's this. We are not Democrats. And this is nationally. We're not Democrats. We're not Republicans. We are conservative federalists, and we stand on that. We stand on that, and we work on that. Because I'll tell you something. I was just listening to a part of Friday's show of Sean Hannity on podcast, thanks to my Alexa. And he was talking about how, showed little clips about how Biden's kind of talking off the wall. And I believe that. And he was saying that Biden needed to take a competency test to see if he'd even pass it at all. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Asa Hutchinson's a good governor and all that, but seriously, most of these people have been running, having like 70 plus. There's nothing wrong with those seasoned people, but we could use some young new blood. Okay, we could use some young new blood. Because how long have we had the baby boomers taking control? Alright? Bill Clinton, baby boomer. George W., baby boomer. Obama, tail end of the baby boomers. Trump, baby boomer. Biden, I wouldn't even call Biden baby boomer. I don't know. He's one of those, what they call the greatest generation. Well, some of them greatest generations who graduated in 68, according to them liberal standards, they're just idiots, okay? They're idiots. That's what I call them. Okay? And this board of disinformation, this division of truth, whatever they want to call it. Like I said, jack censorship, okay? Because we don't need it in this country. Hats off to Elon Musk for taking over Twitter. I say that, and anybody would say that has common sense. We need common sense in America. We need to bring common sense back. This is what we call the revolution. Once again, I call it this. I'm sure Jimmy is. He'll be back on Wednesday. But this is what we call the revolution. I hope you enjoy listening to the James Hendrick Show. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. Become a part of receiving most daily updates. It's Brent Clark saying until next time, take care and be proactively informed. Tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit more about censorship, some other issues. We're on standby here and know that we care about you. God bless you guys.